Hirsch family, my two daughters who are here tonight, and my sister who is also not able to make it, we all welcome all of you.
Okay. We're back to the Radman side of the family, and Dave Radman, Risa's father, has a few words he'd like to say to everybody. Keep it clean.
I'm glad to be here. I want to welcome everyone, the same as the Cobeys did. I think the Cobeys are a very nice, warm family that always want to have a lot of fun, from what I can see. A couple of things about my daughter. Someone asked me to state some reminiscence. When my wife was pregnant and she was going into the hospital, and she was being wheeled in the delivery room, I kept yelling at her, think pink, think pink, think pink. I already had two sons. I wanted a daughter. So then the doctor came out and told me I had a little dishwasher. I knew I had a daughter. In those days, women washed dishes and stayed home and raised a kid. Not today. Not today anymore. A couple other things. I used to take her horseback riding. She used to like to ride horseback on Sundays. And one day the horse got away from one of us. I forget whether it was you, Risa, or me. We had a hell of a time bringing that horse back in. Which reminds me of a joke. There was a guy wanted to ride a horse. And the only horse in the stable was a Jewish horse. The Jewish horse knew three words. It knew oi, which meant to go, vey, which meant to go faster and faster, and shalom, which meant to stop. So the guy gets on a horse, he says oi, and the horse starts to go. And he says vey, and the horse goes faster and faster. But he forgets the word shalom. He says whoa, stop, halt. And the horse is going faster and faster. And all of a sudden he remembers the word shalom. He says shalom. And the horse stops right at the edge of a big precipice. He looks down, and he says oi, vey. I like Louisville very much. I think the people are very nice. I've been down there a few times. I've had to get a detective a few times on a guy's. My daughter was dating. Believe it or not, she had some wild experiences down there, but not on you, Chuck. I didn't get a detective. One quick thing, in my business, I have a men's store out front. We put in 1970, we put Risa's footprints in cement. That's when we remodeled, so it's still there. 1970, it's 24 years ago. It's been a long time. Let's see what else. Risa always liked to better herself, I thought. She went into ISA in Louisville. She got me into ISA, and I thought it was very good. I thought it was really something. And when I had trouble with my back, she got me an Iyengar yoga woman to take care of my back. Iyengar means stretching, the stretching type of yoga. There's 5 types of yoga, and it really helped. I didn't get any, Pittsburgh didn't do anything for me. My wife, in closing, my wife and I want to tell you one thing. We have entered into a new chapter in our lives, chapter 11.
Thank you. Everybody enjoy your dessert. We're going to have a video, and then we're going to continue with the program. Okay. When we started thinking about what we were going to say to our brother Chuck on the eve of his wedding, we were immediately reminded of living with Chuck, of growing up in the same house with Chuck, and of the amazing phenomenon in which the same parents can produce such completely different children.
Chuck has a skewed way of looking at things. Everything is either black and white to Chuck. There is no such thing as gray. He chose a career in which he'd get paid for his narrow-minded way of thinking.
Charles Kobe with Robbing the Cradle. Beth Mitchell, would you please come up and testify? I'm here this evening to tell the court and everyone here that Chuck Kobe, yes, you Chuck Kobe, slept with me. That's coming. It's been very hard for me to come to terms with. But the fact that we were 6 months old has made it all much easier for me to accept. You, the court, must be told that when it occurred, Chuck was extremely cranky and not at all interested in whether or not I was having a good time.
The usual male problem.
He made the most outrageous smells and sounds I've ever experienced. And before it was over, he fell asleep. Finally, a few years ago, this incident almost prevented my marriage from occurring. But now, my husband, Bob, it says it's okay, and he can finally look Chuck in the eye comfortably. I charge you, Charles Kobe, with the most heinous crime. And your punishment is this book. Please read it, understand it, and carry through the lessons that you have learned from the past, and that I know that you'll learn from this most important book and informative book. How to satisfy a woman every time and have her beg for more.
Copies will be available after the services this evening.
Laura Durunda is charging Risa Radman with never being able to make up her mind. Laura, would you like to come up and testify now?
Members of the jury, I would like to tell you, and I guess Your Honor, about some of the times that Risa has had a hard time making up her mind. Now, many of you that know Risa closely probably have experienced this, I'm sure, with her. Basically, you have to remember the time that Risa and I spent most of our time together was back in junior high and high school. So some of the things that were quite trivial. And I teach junior high right now, and I look at my coworkers and I say, I don't think we acted like that in junior high, but when I was going back over some of the things that Risa and I had done, I do realize that we acted quite like the junior high students I have right now act. Anyways, the story that I want to recount to you, and so you can make up your decision as to whether or not Risa is guilty or not of this, is an instance that occurred back in junior high. And one of the things that we did to pass time back in junior high was to go to the mall and cruise. And this is on foot, not in a car because we didn't drive yet. But we'd cruise the mall. And let's put it this way, we were not looking for clothes and things like that. I'm not going to tell you what we were looking for, but anyways, what we did was our general routine was to first go to Scotto's Pizza and have pizza. Then we'd go to the arcade and play a few games of pinball. And then we would go down the mall to this ice cream shop that had 50 flavors. And boy, this is the part of the night that I dreaded the most. I would always make the mistake of ordering mine first. And of course, I always would pretty much have in my mind what I would get, because it would always be something sinful and fattening. I would usually get my Rocky Road, double Dutch fudge, or whatever. And so I'd stand there, and I'd wait, and Risa would act like we'd never been there before. You know, we'd go there about every Friday night. So anyway, she'd stand there, and she'd read through these 50 flavors of ice cream. And then she'd ask the clerk, well, do you think I could have a taste of that on one of those little wooden spoons? So they'd take a little taste out for Risa, and she'd try the one flavor. She said, well, I don't really know. How about that one there, the second one on the list? So he give her a taste of this, and I think by the time they kind of knew Risa there after a while, it's a wonder they didn't start charging her for these tastes, because by the time she had all her tastes, she's pretty much had more than a scoop of ice cream. But anyway, she'd keep going through this and trying to make up her mind and having all these tastes. In the meantime, at first I used to be polite and kind of wait for Risa, and here I am with this ice cream dripping down my hand. And finally, after, we'd been doing this for a while, I finally decided, well, I'm just going to go ahead and eat mine. And usually it'd be gone by the time Risa would make up her mind. But anyways, Risa would finally, after going through all the lists and the taste tests and everything, she'd finally, probably, being the health-conscious person that she is, and she still is. She was back in junior high, too. Not too many junior high kids were like this, but she's always been very health-conscious. And she'd always make the best decision of all in the end. She would always look at the clerk then after all this, him hawing around, and she'd say, I'd like 1 scoop of vanilla on a cake cone, please. And I'd be like, oh, Risa. So anyways, as I was recounting this story to you, I've decided to actually dismiss all charges. Because as I was thinking about this, maybe all these trivial little decisions that Risa had to go through in her life has helped her to make one of the best decisions of all, and that's to pick Chuck Kobe as her lifelong mate. I dismiss all charges.
Jeff Spielberg. Jeff Spielberg is charging Chuck Kobe of having the Oedipus complex. Jeff, would you like to come testify?
You can read my book.
Your Honor, esteemed honorists and jury, I bring before you testimony regarding the serious charge of Oedipus complex against Charles Kobe. Throughout my 25-year association with the defendant, I've learned the inner workings and best-kept secrets of the Kobe family structure.
Oh my God!
I've spent a great deal of time at the Kobe estate with Jay, Laura, Chuck, Elaine, Stevie, Mitzi, Archie, and Dorothy. There were many rules and regulations at the home on Dunvegan. Children were banned at the 2nd floor. Dr. Kobe inspected all shoes before entrance to his famed tennis court. There was a tight rein on the family stockpile of peanuts. But the strictest rule of all regarded the Kobe return policy. When any child ventured from the estate, they were made to return and kiss their mother, informing her of their safety and sobriety. Two of these occasions stand out as most horrifying in my mind. It was a Saturday night, as I recall, when Charles Kobe sought the secret knowledge of jungle juice. After a long night of exploration, Paul, Chuck, Harry, and myself ventured back to the Kobe estate. Chuck informed us that he must comply with the Kobe return policy and kiss his mother. Laura Kobe, innocent mother of 3, laying sleeping soundly, donning her black satin blinders over her closed eyes. It was only after this occasion that she intelligently began wearing matching armor to bed. For when her son Chuck entered her room to perform his family duty, his equilibrium